What if Coco Gauff's biggest weapon heading into the US Open isn't another trophy, but everything she learned from her recent defeats? After deep runs at Wimbledon and the Canadian Open, Gauff has made it clear that she is not simply chasing momentum. She is looking for the adjustments that can finally make her game click. And now, with the US Open getting closer, the question is huge. What exactly is Coco Gauff changing, improving, and focusing on before she steps onto the biggest hard court stage in America? Because if Coco can turn those recent lessons into confidence, we could be looking at a very dangerous version of Gauff in New York. Stay with me, because there are several reasons why Coco's US Open preparation could be more important than ever. Coco Gauff is entering one of the most important moments of her 2026 season. The American superstar has already shown flashes of incredible tennis this year. She reached the finals in Miami and Rome, made the semifinals at Wimbledon, and then followed that up with another semifinal appearance in Toronto. But there is one thing missing: a title. Gauff is still searching for her first championship of 2026, despite consistently going deep in major tournaments. And that makes the upcoming US Open even more interesting. Because Coco isn't starting from zero. She already has the experience. She already has the big match mentality. And most importantly, she already knows what has been working and what hasn't. So let's break down what Coco Gauff can take from Cincinnati and the Canadian Open as she prepares for the US Open. Coco is focusing on adjustments, not panic. One of the most important things Coco has talked about recently is adjustment. After her Wimbledon loss to Karolina Muchova, Gauff didn't simply look at the defeat as a disaster. Instead, she described it as a learning experience. That mindset could become extremely important heading into New York. At Wimbledon, Gauff came incredibly close to reaching the final. She had match point opportunities but ultimately lost the deciding set in a dramatic tiebreak. That kind of defeat can stay in a player's mind. But Coco appears to be taking a different approach. Instead of saying, "Everything is wrong," she is looking at the smaller decisions inside those matches. What shot should she have played? When should she have changed tactics? Where can she become more aggressive? And how can she stay composed when the pressure reaches its highest point? Those are the details that can make the difference between a semifinal exit and a Grand Slam final. Canada showed real progress. The Canadian Open was another major test for Gauff. She reached the semifinals, marking her best ever result at the tournament. But the semifinal against Elena Rybakina showed Coco exactly where she still has work to do. Gauff won the opening set 7-5, but Rybakina responded strongly and took the next two sets 6-2, 6-2. And Coco's reaction was important. She didn't describe the result as something completely negative. Instead, she said she felt she was improving, particularly against players she has historically struggled against. That's a huge clue, because Gauff understands that becoming a better player isn't always about winning every match. Sometimes the most valuable lessons come from the matches you lose. And the US Open gives her the perfect opportunity to use those lessons. Cincinnati is more than just another tournament. There is a special connection between Coco Gauff and Cincinnati. In 2023, she won the Cincinnati Open, her first WTA 1000 title. Then she went to New York and won the US Open. That Cincinnati to US Open connection is one of the biggest storylines surrounding Gauff every summer. The Cincinnati Open itself has highlighted how successful runs there can create confidence heading into New York. Players such as Aryna Sabalenka and Jannik Sinner have even gone back-to-back in Cincinnati and at the US Open. And Coco knows exactly what that confidence feels like. She has previously explained that having wins under your belt makes the pressure of a Grand Slam more comfortable. But there's another interesting part of her mentality. Coco has also said she doesn't believe she needs momentum to succeed at a slam. That is important, because it means she isn't putting unnecessary pressure on herself to win Cincinnati at all costs. Instead, she can use Cincinnati as a laboratory. Test the serve, test the return, test her movement, test her decision-making, and figure out what needs to be ready for New York. Her serve could be a huge key. If Coco wants to make another deep run at the US Open, her serve will be one of the most important areas to watch. When Gauff is serving confidently, everything becomes easier. She gets free points. She starts rallies on her terms. And she can put pressure on opponents before the rally even begins. But when the serve becomes inconsistent, the entire match can change. That's why the weeks before the US Open are so important. Coco and her team can use these matches to identify patterns. Is she getting enough first serves in? Is she protecting second serve points? Is she winning enough free points? And perhaps most importantly, is her serve holding up when the scoreboard gets tight? These are the questions that could determine how far she goes in New York. Returning will be another major weapon. Gauff's athleticism and defensive ability have always been among her biggest strengths. But her return game can take her to another level. When Coco gets an opponent under pressure immediately on their serve, she can control the entire rhythm of a match. That's particularly valuable on hard courts. And the US Open environment can reward players who are comfortable in long rallies, quick exchanges, and high-pressure moments. So what do you think? Can Coco Gauff turn everything she has learned from Wimbledon, the Canadian Open, and Cincinnati into another magical US Open run? Could we see Coco back in the final? Or even lifting the trophy again? Let me know your prediction in the comments. And if you're a Coco Gauff fan, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because we are going to be following Coco every step of the way as the US Open approaches. The road to New York is almost here, and Coco Gauff may be getting ready for another unforgettable chapter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.